Do you remember being a kid, putting a piece of paper over a coin and rubbing a pencil over it to see the texture appear? This technique is literally that, but we're bringing it to the gel plate. We're using soft pastels and stencils to create pastel ghosts. It looks like a stencil ghost print, but the process is completely different. Plus, I finally got my hands on this 48 color Mungyo set, so let's see what it can really do. The technique is so simple and so much fun. Just put down your stencil, add your paper on top. I'm using printer paper. Pick up a soft pastel and remove the paper covering. Use the wider side and drag it on the paper. See what is happening? It is picking up the texture of the stencil. Soft pastels are well suited to this method as they transfer to the gel plate quite easily. We looked at that in our earlier video, link is in the description, and we are going to add another unexpected technique to our arsenal today. It is so easy, anyone can do this. That is a pretty nice ghost, but it is not on a gel plate yet. All you have to do is take this paper and place it face down on your plate. Then start rubbing it from the back side. You can do this for 20 seconds or for 2 minutes. It will work fine either way. Unlike other image transfer methods where you have to count the seconds, this one has no such rules. Once we pick the paper, you will note the pattern on the gel plate. Love the fact that there is no waiting time involved and we can immediately add a pickup paint layer. I'm going with a contrasting shade as I want the pink to show up. It is already a light color as it is. Not to mention, as the name suggests, these are soft pastels, so the results are exactly that, soft. Place your paper while this layer of paint is still wet. Press down on it so it makes contact with the surface. Wait for the paint to dry so it will pick up your soft pastel along with the paint before you pull the print. I'm not showing you the waiting part, so it looks instant. As expected, this is a very soft pastel look. Yes, I know, that is literally in the name. You might think at this moment that you are done with learning this technique, but there are a few caveats and we're going to discuss those going ahead. Some stencils work better, just like some colors do. And we are going to look at the difference it makes. For our second print, we're going to use 3 bright colors and see if they fare any better than our earlier lighter pink. I could have just shown you the technique and said go have fun, but that is just half a lesson. Because you will be wondering what went wrong when your results are not the same. This is why I always show you what works and also what doesn't, and how to keep experimenting so you get better prints. Once I get to the yellow, I also figure out that just using the wider side is not enough. You get better results if you use the corners versus the flatter area. Also remember to lightly tap off the excess powder to the side. You don't want it falling all over the plate, but you don't want to get too much off either. What do you think of this technique so far? Let me know in comments below. These look a lot brighter on the plate. I am going to use our light rose color for the background. And I can't wait for the paint to dry, so I turn the plate around. These look nice. Let's quickly pull up the print to see the actual colors, as looking at them through the acrylic sheets shows you a bit of a dulled out version. Orange has turned out to be the brightest, and yes, it would have been a lovely gradient had I not left the gaps in between. But hey, in my defense, I'm only experimenting. Next up, I use the stencil, which has pretty large open areas. Let's see how this works out. I use the navy blue this time round as I'm slowly figuring out that darker colors transfer better. You can already see the issue with this one. Since the open space is big enough, the soft pastels start covering those areas too. And it becomes worse if you try going over it more than once. One workaround can be to break your pastel and try and rub where the texture is and avoid the open areas. The ideal situation is to use stencils like the one we used earlier. Let's start our image transfer and check out the results. I'm going to speed this a bit as you already know the process. Let's lift the print. To be honest, I don't hate it. But this is to show you that if you are looking for a cleaner print, then these are the issues that can crop up with larger openings. Let's come back to our first stencil. This is where the real breakthrough happens. I'm combining everything that we have discovered, starting from using a very dark shade of green and using the stencil on its wider but sharper side. So far, it looks good. Let's check how it does on the plate. I am so excited that I don't even wait to drag the plate to the center area, and I just directly place our paper on it. Thankfully, I do realize that is going to be a bit of a difficult angle to work with. Let's not forget that this is just one technique you can use with soft pastels. There are so many others. Some are mentioned in my soft pastels video. Don't forget to watch that too. This is a very versatile medium. If you're finding this helpful, definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm constantly experimenting with these mediums to see what else we can discover. This is one of our clearest prints so far. And you did not even need to use acrylic paints with the stencil to get the ghost. It was far easier. You can now treat it like any other two-layered print and add more layers if you want. Since the soft pastels are embedded in the paint, no issues with having to add any finish either. One more lesson to be learned. See how these neon and lighter colored pastels pop when you apply them over black paint? You would think picking them up with black will give the same results. Let's see if that's true. I already made this with 3 of the colors I just showed you. They are not currently visible as they are on a white background, but you would expect them to pop on black as they did earlier. Sadly, we would be completely wrong. Look at what we got. Our lighter colored pastels and our lovely neons all disappeared on the black paint. So yeah, not all paint colors work as good backgrounds for the pastels. Lighter colors are better for the pickup layer, while darker colors are better for the pastel transfers. Another thing that does not work as well are stencils with really small openings. Once again, the pastels tend to fill in the gaps, especially as you try going over them more than once. Let's quickly transfer this print and pick it up with sky blue light. As you can see, the texture did not get picked up too well. If you want to use these kind of stencils, you will have to be very careful and might need to redo a few times. Let's make one last print with a high contrast color combination using my favorite stencil. Yep, you guessed it, we are going with black and white. Well, almost. We are doing a gradient starting from black, a darker gray, and a medium gray. One tip, you get cleaner prints if you only run the pastel over one time. If you go over it multiple times, then it starts filling up the empty areas too. Let's get our pattern onto the plate. We are going to pick this one using white. If you're still watching this video, don't forget to like it. And did I mention, I love comments from you guys and I answer each one personally. So don't forget to leave one. Ooh, that is a lovely print. Let's take a look at all our prints. This is the first one. The transfer is on the left and the print is on the right. This was our lightest one. This was our experiment using a stencil with large open areas. Do you like it, or would you rather avoid such stencils? This was where we used our bright colors. Oh, and a successful print with all the right ingredients. And our last high contrast transfer, I showed you the first one and then I redid it off screen and hence the extra print in the center. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I have a lot more related to image transfers using soft pastels, oil pastels, magazines, and laser prints. I'm linking to the playlist for those so you can binge watch. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. See you in the next one.